Somewhere in China, an ordinary person is climbing into a two-seat aircraft that has no pilot, no joystick, and nothing resembling a control panel. They tap a screen, choose where they want to go, and the aircraft simply takes them there. No license required, no training needed, no stress involved, and this isn't a clip from some sci-fi movie, it actually happened. At almost the same time, at a testing facility just outside Shanghai, engineers certified an engine capable of squeezing 106 miles out of a single gallon of fuel. That's not a typo. 106 miles. It's a world record, officially verified and stamped by Guinness World Records. Transportation is going through its biggest shakeup since the car was invented, and it's moving faster than most of us can keep up with. In this video, we're counting down 8 flying vehicles that already exist, have already been tested, and are already reshaping what getting around means for ordinary people. Then we'll dig into that record-breaking engine. By the end, you'll understand exactly why the next decade of transportation is going to look nothing like the last 50 years. If you're into this kind of breakdown, drop a like and subscribe. We're working toward 50,000 subscribers, and every single one of you helps keep this channel going. These 8 machines are proof that the sky isn't just for airlines anymore. Let's get into it. Number 8. The XPeng Aero HT Land Aircraft Carrier. Let's kick things off with something that sounds ridiculous, until you actually see it in action. Engineers at XPeng Aero HT, a Chinese company that builds both electric cars and flying vehicles, didn't try to cram everything into one machine. Instead, they asked a different question. What if the car and the aircraft were separate machines built to work together seamlessly? So they built a 6-wheeled electric truck, rugged, roomy, and looking like it rolled straight out of a science fiction film. But tucked inside the cargo bay is a fully electric 2-seat aircraft, folded up and ready to go. Drive out to an open field, hit a single button, and the aircraft rolls out of the back, unfolds itself, and gets ready for takeoff. Minutes later, you're airborne. It's a genuinely smart approach. Most companies chasing the flying car dream end up with something that drives poorly and flies poorly because they're trying to do both jobs with one vehicle. XPeng basically said, forget that. Build a great truck, build a great aircraft, and let them work as a team. And since it's built on the same electric motors and battery tech already powering millions of everyday EVs, production costs stay relatively low. That matters, because price is still the single biggest thing keeping flying vehicles out of regular people's garages. Driving to a scenic field on a Saturday morning, pressing a button, and launching a personal aircraft into the sky, that's not just a road trip anymore, that's something else entirely. And the next entry pushes personal flight even further. Number 7. The EHang EH216-S. We're moving from a design that splits the car and the aircraft into 2 machines to one that removes the pilot altogether. The EHang EH216-S is a fully autonomous passenger drone. You climb in, choose your destination on a touchscreen, and the aircraft flies itself there. No stick, no wheel, no pedals, just a seat, a screen, and open sky. Here's what makes this genuinely historic. In October 2023, China's Aviation Authority handed this aircraft an official type certificate, the highest level of safety approval an aircraft can earn. Inspectors picked apart every part of its design, tested it under demanding conditions, and signed off on it as safe to carry real passengers. That made the EH216-S the first fully autonomous passenger-carrying drone in history to receive that kind of certification anywhere in the world. Not a concept, not a prototype, a certified aircraft. It runs on 8 folding arms with 16 independent rotors, seats 2 passengers, and stays connected to a ground control center throughout every flight. Human operators can step in if something unusual happens, but in most cases, the AI handles the entire trip, takeoff to landing, without any human input at all. Now, if sitting inside a pilotless aircraft still sounds a little too futuristic for your taste, the next vehicle takes the complete opposite approach to personal flight. One that's all muscle, all human, and honestly, kind of insane. Number 6. The Gravity Industries Jet Suit. This one isn't about relaxing while a computer does all the work. This is about strapping 5 jet engines to your body and flying like something out of a comic book. Built by British inventor Richard Browning, the Gravity Industries jet suit uses 2 jet engines on each arm and 1 mounted on the back. Combined, they crank out more than 1,000 horsepower, more than most sports cars produce. The pilot steers by, shifting their body weight and moving their arms. Lean forward and you move forward. Shift left and you go left. It's incredibly physical and takes real practice to control. Top speed sits around 53 miles per hour and it can climb to nearly 12,000 feet. Here's the catch though. It burns through fuel fast. You get roughly 10 minutes of flight time per tank, which limits what it can realistically be used for right now. Still, military and rescue teams are already testing it in the field, picturing a future where a paramedic could fly straight over gridlocked traffic to reach an accident scene within minutes. And beyond the sheer spectacle, every minute spent in that suit generates data. Data on how humans interact with personal flight, the kind that will shape safer, longer-lasting versions of this tech down the road. Think of it like the Wright brothers at Kitty Hawk. 12 seconds in the air that changed everything. Speaking of changing everything, the next vehicle on our list has earned the nickname the Tesla of personal aviation, and for good reason. Number 5. The Jetson 1. If the jet suit is built for thrill seekers, the Jetson 1 is built for everyone else. This single-seat flying vehicle weighs just 190 pounds, lighter than most motorcycles. It runs on 8 electric motors, tops out around 63 miles per hour, and in a lot of places you don't even need a pilot's license to fly it. The real trick is the onboard flight computer, which handles all the complicated stabilization automatically. Let go of the joystick mid-flight, and the aircraft simply hovers in place, waiting for your next move. It basically babysits you while you fly. The whole goal behind the design was to make personal flight feel as natural as driving a car. Early owners describe it as one of the most exhilarating experiences of their lives, and while it isn't cheap right now, the price is coming down as production ramps up. This is exactly the kind of vehicle that starts out as a toy for early adopters and eventually turns into a daily tool for millions. We've seen that pattern before with electric cars, smartphones, and personal computers. Right now, the Jetson 1 is still in that early adopter phase. Give it 5 years and it'll look completely different on the market. While the Jetson 1 is changing how individuals think about flying, our next entry changed what the entire industry thought was even physically possible for electric aviation. Number 4. The Autoflight Prosperity. Now we're scaling up, from personal flyers to something much larger. The Autoflight Prosperity is a big electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft built to carry multiple passengers between cities or across metro areas. It recently set a world record for the longest flight ever completed by an electric aircraft of its type, covering 155 miles on a single charge. That's roughly the distance from Washington, D.C. to New York City, flown without burning a drop of fuel. For passengers, it works basically like an air taxi. You book a seat, climb in, and the aircraft flies itself to your destination while the AI manages the entire trip. What really sets the Prosperity apart, beyond that range record, is its safety design. Engineers built in multiple independent layers of protection. If a critical part fails mid-flight, the onboard AI can deploy a ballistic parachute in a fraction of a second and float the whole aircraft safely to the ground. If a parachute isn't necessary but something still goes wrong, the system can perform a full emergency landing with zero human input. That level of built-in redundancy is exactly what will eventually convince everyday commuters to trust an autonomous air taxi more than they trust the highway. And statistically, it's likely to actually be safer. If that range record impressed you, the next machine takes performance to a whole new level and does it at 186 miles per hour. Number 3. The Airspeeder. Mark III. Let's talk racing. The Airspeeder Mark III was purpose-built for the world's first flying car racing series. Pilots sit in remote locations wearing VR headsets and race these aircraft through 3-dimensional aerial courses at speeds up to 186 miles per hour. Think about that for a second. Formula One cars hit similar speeds on flat tracks lined with walls and barriers. These vehicles race through open airspace in 3 full dimensions, guided entirely by pilots who see only through a VR headset. It looks wild because it is wild, but here's what matters beyond the spectacle. Every major racing series in history has doubled as an engineering lab. NASCAR taught us about tire performance and engine durability under stress. Formula One gave us carbon fiber and advanced aerodynamics technologies that eventually trickled down into the cars ordinary people drive. The Airspeeder series is doing the exact same thing for flying vehicles. The collision avoidance software, sensor arrays, lightweight materials, and battery management systems are all being pushed to their absolute limits during actual races. Every close call, every record lap, every mechanical failure generates insight that makes the next generation of civilian aircraft safer and smarter. That same relentless drive to squeeze more performance out of every component, more efficiency, more range, more reliability, is the same mindset behind the ground-level breakthrough we're building toward later in this video. Because while these flying machines are remarkable, there's a parallel story unfolding on the road that ties directly into this obsession with doing more with less. Our number 2 entry is where that thread really starts to pull tight. Number 2. The Pivotal Helix. The Pivotal Helix is an American-made ultralight flying vehicle with a fixed-wing design and 8 tilting rotors. It weighs just 254 pounds, and under U.S. federal rules for ultralight aircraft, you don't need a pilot's license to fly it. The company claims you can learn to operate it safely in under an hour. And that's not just marketing spin. The flight control software handles takeoff, landing, and stabilization on its own. You just steer the direction. The computer handles everything else. What makes the Helix worth talking about is what it represents on a bigger scale. In the U.S., personal aviation policy is built around individual freedom, regulations designed to let people fly lightweight aircraft without a mountain of red tape. The Helix fits that philosophy perfectly. On the other side of the Pacific, a very different but equally powerful approach is taking shape. In multiple Chinese cities, fleets of autonomous drones are already delivering hot food, medicine, and packages to automated neighborhood pickup kiosks at massive scale. People simply walk to a nearby collection point and grab their order. No human delivery driver involved at any point. That delivery network isn't just a convenience, it's a training ground. Managing thousands of small drones flying through city airspace every day builds the coordination software, traffic management systems, and real-world data needed to eventually guide hundreds of personal flying vehicles through those same skies safely. The delivery drones are essentially a dress rehearsal, and it's already happening at scale. The Helix and those delivery fleets represent 2 very different roads leading to the same destination, a world where the sky is traveled as routinely as the highway below it. Our number 1 entry is the machine that makes that future feel closest of all. But right after it, we're heading down to the ground to talk about something just as extraordinary as anything on this list. An engine story tied to that same obsession with doing more with less. One that stopped the entire auto industry in its tracks. Number 1. The XTI Tri-Fan 600. The XTI Tri-Fan 600 isn't a commuter hopper or a weekend toy. It's a full-size hybrid aircraft designed to replace short and medium-distance regional travel entirely, and its design is unlike anything that came before it. It uses 3 large ducted fans, essentially enclosed propellers. 2 sit inside the wings and can rotate a full 90 degrees. At takeoff, they point straight up, lifting the aircraft vertically like a helicopter. Once airborne, they rotate forward and the aircraft shifts into fast horizontal flight like a normal plane. A 3rd fan in the tail handles directional control the whole way through. That means the Tri-Fan 600 can take off from a rooftop helipad, a corporate parking lot, or private property. No airport, no runway, no terminal lines, no baggage carousel. Once in the air, it carries 6 passengers at a cruising speed of 380 miles per hour, climbs to 30,000 feet, and has a range of nearly 1,500 miles. Put simply, a road trip that would normally eat up 5 or 6 hours in traffic becomes a 90-minute door-to-door flight. That's not just a faster way to get around. It changes where people choose to live, where businesses decide to set up shop and how entire regional economies connect. Communities once too far from a major airport to attract investment suddenly become accessible. Families who used to spend holidays stuck in highway traffic start measuring distance in flight minutes instead of driving hours. The Tri-Fan 600 represents the long-term vision for personal aviation. Not dodging rush hour across town, but flying across entire regions on your own schedule, with no airline involved at any point. And here's the thing. As incredible as all 8 of these vehicles are, there's a separate story happening on the ground that's just as dramatic. While one group of engineers was figuring out how to make the sky accessible, another group was quietly cracking a problem that affects literally everyone who's ever pulled into a gas station. And the number they landed on was so far beyond anyone's expectations that it made an entire industry stop and stare. 106 miles per gallon. In April 2026, at the Beijing Auto Show, a Chinese company called Geely walked on stage and put a number on the big screen that left engineers across 3 continents genuinely speechless. 106 miles per gallon. Not in a lab, not under ideal conditions on a closed test track, on a public road loop in Hainan province in an ordinary mid-size family sedan. Guinness World Records had official adjudicators on site for the entire test to verify and certify every measurement. 106 miles per gallon, the highest fuel efficiency ever recorded for a mass-produced passenger vehicle. Official, verified, and stamped. To understand why that number is so wild, you need one basic fact about how engines work. When gasoline burns inside an engine, only part of that energy actually pushes the car forward. The rest escapes as heat through the exhaust or gets absorbed by the engine itself. The percentage that actually turns into forward motion is what engineers call thermal efficiency. A typical gas engine, the kind sitting in most driveways today, converts about 30 to 35% of its fuel into motion. Everything else is wasted heat. Toyota, the company that basically invented the modern hybrid and has spent 3 decades refining it, topped out at 41% thermal efficiency with its most advanced engine. For years, that was the gold standard nobody else could touch. Geely's new engine, the EMB15, hits 48.41%, certified by Guinness, confirmed by independent observers. Here's the comparison that really drives it home. Formula One engines, the most advanced internal combustion engines ever built, costing millions of dollars each and rebuilt after every single race, run at around 50% thermal efficiency. Geely essentially built a family sedan engine within touching distance of Formula One performance, and they're putting it in a car that costs less than $10,000. Pair that engine with a 308 horsepower electric motor and an AI energy management system constantly deciding in real time whether to run on the engine, the battery, or both, and you get 106 miles per gallon on an actual public road in a car a regular family can go out and buy. For comparison, back in 2024, Toyota drove a Prius all the way from Los Angeles to New York City to showcase peak fuel efficiency. A famous road trip that averaged 92.9 miles per gallon and was considered a landmark moment for hybrids. Geely's system beats that by more than 12%, in a vehicle costing a fraction of the price. Geely's executives were blunt about what this means. Their new powertrain, they said publicly, will outperform every hybrid Toyota, Honda, and Nissan have ever put on the road. Looking at the verified numbers, that's not bragging. It's just math. But here's what makes this story bigger than one engine and one record. Geely didn't develop this in isolation, and their record isn't a lucky one-off. It's the leading edge of a much larger wave. BYD, the company that recently overtook Tesla to become the world's top-selling EV manufacturer, launched its 5th-generation hybrid system with 46.06% thermal efficiency. Its flagship model can travel over 1,300 miles on a full tank combined with a full battery charge, roughly the driving distance from Miami to Boston, without a single fuel stop. Other major Chinese automakers, including Changan, Chery, GAC, and Great Wall, have all rolled out similarly ultra-efficient powertrains within the past 18 months. Even smaller brands are now hitting 45% thermal efficiency on standard family vehicles, a number that was cutting-edge lab performance just a few years ago and is quickly becoming a baseline expectation across the market. Meanwhile, traditional engines built in Detroit by Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis are mostly still stuck between 30 and 35% thermal efficiency. That gap won't close quickly. Redesigning an engine platform, retooling a factory, retraining engineers, and getting a new product into production all take years. The distance between what the most efficient hybrids are achieving and what conventional combustion engines are still doing keeps growing, and it's growing fast. What makes this even more interesting is how far this technology is likely to spread beyond China. Geely doesn't just sell cars under its own name, it owns Volvo, it owns Polestar, and it runs a major luxury joint venture with Mercedes-Benz. It's already licensing its powertrains to Western brands through its Powertrain Alliance. That means these ultra-efficient engines will start showing up in European and American vehicles within the next few years, whether legacy automakers develop their own competing tech or not. Pull up to a gas station once a month, fill the tank, and drive over 1,300 miles before you need to stop again. That's not a lab concept somewhere down the road. It's a product sitting in dealerships right now, and it's spreading fast. Now step back and look at everything we've covered as one big picture. 8 flying vehicles that are already real, already tested, already certified, or in production. Some remove the need for a pilot entirely. Some take off from your parking lot and land in another city. Some fold neatly out of the back of a truck. The sky is becoming genuinely accessible to ordinary people in a way that would have seemed impossible just a decade ago. At the same time, the engine powering travel on the ground just hit a level of efficiency that used to be locked behind million-dollar race car budgets, and it's sitting in a car that costs less than a decent used vehicle. These aren't two separate stories. They're part of the same shift. The wall between advanced technology and what regular people can actually afford and use is coming down. Think about what happened with smartphones. In 2000, a mobile phone just made calls. By 2007, it had replaced your camera, your map, your music player, and your web browser. By 2012, it was replacing your wallet and your boarding pass. Entire industries that had existed for decades couldn't keep up with how fast things moved. Transportation is going through that exact same thing right now. Electric motors, AI flight systems, ultra-efficient hybrid engines, and rapidly falling production costs are all combining into something that's about to do to cars and planes what the smartphone did to cameras and maps. The version of transportation that exists 10 years from now will look nothing like what we drive and fly today. And the companies leading that shift won't always be the names you grew up hearing. Some of them are writing entirely new names onto the map. That's the full picture. 8 flying vehicles already reshaping personal travel, and 1 engine that officially rewrote the record books for what a car can do on a single gallon of gas. The sky isn't just for birds and billion-dollar airlines anymore. The gas station isn't the center of your transportation life anymore either. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Nature Mystery Unravel Mysteries. Learn untold tales of history and stay in the exciting world of new discoveries.